Ahoy ahoy and welcome back to my channel. And if this is your first time watching, well, welcome, and I hope you check out the other videos in here, and you'll see a lot of custom stuff and Beatles stuff, of course, the few things that I am passionate about. Before I continue though, just a quick note. I might not, I'm recording this on the 1st of January 2023, first day of the year, and I'll be taking a little break from posting videos. So by the time you watch this, I would already be well into my vacation, and might not be posting new videos for a while. Um, I was planning on posting or rather recording a Sergeant Pepper video too before this, but I still have the box here actually. But problem is, as you may already have seen in YouTube hashtag shorts video that I posted recently, the box that I received did not have the folio that contains all 6 discs, so it's just the inserts, posters, the book. That's it, and I paid in relatively. I thought I had a good deal, and I received it sealed, so there's no reason that the main event, as it were, of the box isn't there. So it's probably a factory glitch. I'm trying to work out how to do this because I bought it overseas. Uh, it's a long thing. I'm still waiting for a resolution. Today being a holiday, and nobody's replying to my inquiries as of yet. So, for this video, though, we are going to take a look at Let It Be, the Beatles' final album, or rather, final studio album, or a final contemporaneous studio album. You know what I mean. Um, we're gonna set this big boy aside first, and as with my other videos, I usually like to take a look at how the original UK release would have been, or was would have been. Although I don't have the vinyl, I don't collect vinyl at all actually. So this is the closest we can get, which is a custom mini LP that I've made somewhat recently. There's a video on my channel about the custom ones, and I'll have the link on the description if you want to see it. But yeah, these are the cover elements that you'd expect from. I don't actually have the CD. I bought a separate CD for this, but I don't have it. But they do have a white sleeves. The UK release came in a box set that's just about the same size, just a little bit larger, of course. And the front art is just this. It doesn't have the text, the logo, which is also worth noting because this is not the logo that they used in the more recent editions, which we will take a look at later. And so that's a design element right there. The back is here. You got the only blurb, or only marketing blurb, in a Beatles album ever, or rather in a contemporaneous, the core catalog Beatles album. Not counting the write-ups that Tony Barrow made, but that's different. And then you got the track listing, side 1, side 2, the over contrasted image, the thank you list. I'm still not sure whether Peter Bone is a different person from Peter Brown, but there it is. And then design credit to John Koch, who also designed Abbey Road but didn't get credit for it. And pictures by Ethan Russell. And then you got the Red Apple manufacturer, and more credits here. The Red Apple, I believe, was because it was a soundtrack album. However, I think 2/3, or maybe no, 1/3, or maybe 20, up to maybe 25% ish. I don't know, 1/3 to 1/4 of the original vinyl run had a green apple in there. I don't have the numbers. Don't quote me on that, but yeah. So this is the sort of a reference that everything else will be judged against. With speaking of which, we'll now go back to the first actual CD edition of the album, which is 1987. Although this is actually 1992, because it's the exact same Everything is the same as the 1987 edition, except it has an Apple logo, Apple Records. Because, as I've said in my previous videos, this was because of a lawsuit between Apple, or at the time Apple Computer, which we now know as Apple, the the iPhone people, and the Apple Core, and something to do with the MIDI or the music, producing section of their computers. Anyway, so we take the sleeve out, same artwork, same logo, although the images look a bit adjusted. I mean, you can barely see the ceiling line behind George right there, and it's a bit pale compared to the. I used to have this on cassette where they cut this part off and they cut this off, and in my mind, it's just that this part of John's microphone is extra. It took me some time to get used to the actual square artwork right there. So anyway, this is not even a booklet, it's just a 2-page 4-panel flyer right there, and then same artwork as the back of the as the tray card, except that I have a colored Apple logo in here. I guess it's because they could save on printing costs, because they will just need to use one, the a black ink print on the tray card. So, and then different font as well. This is I don't think this is Futura, but it's not Futura Black, something else. And of course you got the track listing that has those squares. That's sort of a standard design thing for compact discs at the time, because it sort of matches the grid on the CD player display, LCD display rather. And then you have that, and then the insides, well, just repeats the images, but this time in a white background, and you got the blurb explaining the virtues of CDs being superior to everything else before it, which is true, but that's a different argument. And then you got the songwriting credits, which only previously appeared on the LP label, the songwriting credits. I'm not even sure if this is an actual match, because the sequence here is Lennon McCartney, Starkey Harrison, while I don't know, this the accepted sequence for this Lennon McCartney Harrison Starkey, or Star. So the thank you list is also transferred from the back panel to the inner panel. Again, I'm really not sure Peter Bowen is the different person. So can somebody, I don't know, post in the comments and tell me, because I am not sure. So the disc itself is pretty much a standard fare for compact discs of the time. No substrate. It's just a clear protective coating, and then the black ink for the stuff that you see here. Nothing special. So I'm just gonna put the cover back in, and then we're gonna proceed to the next version. Oops. Gonna proceed to the next version, which is the 2003's Let It Be Naked, which many people don't consider to be part. I'm some of you watching this may consider this not part of the series or whatever, and yeah, I've seen some comments on Reddit and Facebook saying that it should be treated as a separate album, but personally, I think this is a valid version of Let It Be, in that Paul McCartney spearheaded this project, and yeah, it's the basic concept of it. It's just Let It Be, but without Phil Spector's the Phil Spector stuff, well, which they were successful, but it's not entirely Spector free, because Dig a Pony, the part the part that where they sing All I Want Is You, the awkward part between the intro, and or rather at the intro and the outro, they removed it, and it actually worked better for the song, so I guess. And this is a Philippines edition, so you can see there's all of these technologies, copy control, stuff like that. And let me just take the sleeve, the booklet out. This is what the disc looks like. Very modern. And then there's an extra disc that's just as the name says, it's a fly on the wall. So it's just a bunch of snippets that a lot of them actually became reissued in the Super Deluxe edition. So it gave the stuff in there more context, along with the the Disney Plus show. Okay, so they retained a lot of the three of the photos, but used a different picture for George. And I would assume it's because if you reversed this, that George's teeth would become black, and it wouldn't look too flattering there. So I don't know. I don't know if that's the real thing, but anyway, this is also the first time that Futura was used as the Let It Be font right here, which is very different. See, compare the B, the cross of the T, the length of the arms of the E part. It's different, and they also use the different color scheme to it. So it's silver ink, black ink, and then red, and then maybe some gray stuff inside. And it contains a write-up by Kevin Howlett and excerpts from the original Let It Be book that I was talking about earlier. And yeah, well, the design, well, as far as design elements go, this doesn't retain much aside from these front photos. Credits are also different. I'm not sure if anyone is credited for the art, but yeah, I don't know. But yeah, and they also use the somewhat modern Apple logo right here. And yeah, so that's Let It Be Naked, and that is a passing motorcycle. Okay, well, we now come to the 2009 remaster, where they went back and used probably a scan of the original vinyl cover. So you can see it's back to the original logo, and oh boy, that's a very, very restored image right there. Very vibrant red. George's teeth here has never been whiter, and you can barely the the lines here are almost invisible. I mean, this is actually the line that crosses the back of George's head. Here is actually the transition from the wall to the ceiling line of Apple Studios. So yeah, so the back retains most of the cover elements, as you can see. Red Apple, the typesetting is there, the over contrasted photos are there, and track listing is it's pretty much in the same positions, except for the Let It Be mini documentary added to it. The blurb is also there in the exact same font. Crazy. And then everything else they put here, copyright stuff, the then cutting edge QuickTime videos. They didn't mention what's the resolution, but it's pretty low. Maybe 320p. It's low resolution, but it's cutting edge for its time. And then you got an alternate version of the front grid right here. This time with not oversaturated, but of course these were assembled from archive photos. And then you got these, and the disc. Of course, I think this is the first time they actually used the Apple label on a Let It Be disc. And then you got the booklet right here, gloss, same cover, same restored cover, but yeah, in a square configuration this time. And I believe this is the photo, the left-hand photo on the U.S. the Capitol gatefold. But you may correct me. I don't own the damn thing. Yeah, and they also used Futura right here, and the thinner Futura for the text. Yay! And more photos. Yeah, this was No, this was a different shot. So, yeah, here we go. Yeah, this was in Let It Be Naked, but in black and white. So yeah, this is the 2009 release. We now go to the more recent version, which is the 2021. This is the two disc deluxe edition, and there is a one disc version of this actually that looks a lot like this, much thinner. I mean, compared to two, you can't mistake one for the other when you're shopping around in retail. The retail edition, the one disc edition, is a lot thinner, of course, and you have one pocket for the abridged booklet and one pocket for the CD. This is just for the CD, so you got yet another version of the grid and the outtake stuff on the cut apple side right here, and whoa, and the full apple on the left hand side on the remixed album. You may I don't know if you'd notice it, but the apple graphic that they use nowadays is actually it's not the same one, because this is obviously digitally recreated. It's a lot smoother, and the shade that that sort of makes older versions disappear into black here, it's clearly visible now. So I mean, it's nice. I guess they're just modernizing stuff. And speaking of modernizing, these are the same, of course. The photos are also more. I think what they did was they rescanned the negatives here and just tried to restore them without actually over saturating them. Like, you know how this is oversaturated and you got like super you lose some of the lines actually, and then you get these photos. I mean, look at George here. Look at that, and look at that, right? It, the new photos here, it looks a lot more natural. Then of course you now have the Futura font, so it's recreated. The back of the package, which is the same here, is also, yeah, it's recreated, of course. Still a very similar outline, but not exactly the same, because you lose the blurb right there, and the track listing is now expanded. And instead of a 2x2 grid, you now have the 4 photos here, and they are restored versions. As you can see, it's not very contrasty. You can see a lot more of John now. And of course, copyright stuff. And then there's the booklet, which, to be honest, it looked out of place with the entire package. Scrapbook style, gray, and in contrast to the Get Back book, which is more actually in line because the pages are in black, and even the font, it's different. I mean, they could have just used Futura like they did with this part, for example, the track listing. Could have worked, and it could not have been a problem. But yeah, now what you get with this, oh, here's the hype sticker that I saved. I also have a video on how I did these. This is a release paper, which means if I wanted to stick it on somewhere else, it's 100% stickable. So that's yeah. I also have the link to the video in the description, by the way. So here, forward, abridged. A lot of these text. This is not in the Super Deluxe edition, actually. Like, actual shot. Although you do get that. We'll get back to that later. But look at it now. Now, one of my problems with this design, or rather, we'll just take a look at it in the Super Deluxe version right there. But as you can see, it's scrapbook style. And then instead of track by track with a commentary by Kevin Howlett, it's just credits on who plays what right there, and a bunch of EMI tape reproductions right there, and the commentaries, this and commentaries, and the outtake highlights all the way to the back. Yeah, that's Billy Preston right there. Well, this is before he went the full afro in one of his later albums. Then you got the track listing, and then I think this is one of the later sessions where they try to finish the album. So you can see Paul finally shaved, and there you go. Yeah, I think this is the pre-Abbey Road shoot. John was just starting to grow his beard. Well, now that brings us to the Super Deluxe Edition that I've recently just acquired. So this is fairly big, about just under 12 inches tall, and this is, to be honest, this is probably the most different in terms of production and design compared with the rest of the Super Deluxe editions that were previously released. As you can see, it's a slipcase style. To all those who are wondering, this is the standard direction that slipcases are supposed to be used in. So, you know, front panel, the book's spine, and the back. And the problem is they didn't even print anything here, you know, unlike the Revolver box set that actually has spine sacks on it. That's weird, but, you know, I don't know. And this is not just a plain matte black box, actually. And as you can see, it catches dirt pretty easily. That's because there's it's not just a plain box. As you can see, there's texture on it. And this is actually a nice cost-cutting measure here, because they printed the logo, the spine, and the text at the back with just one color, which is silver. See, no color, no variations, just that. And then you open the die cut openings like that. It's not even proportional to the original, right? It's not even proportional. The vinyl box at least is square, and you know, at least the photos are somewhat more proportional. But yeah, that's the box, and they have designed it. They have two parts. This is the folio that contains the discs, and this is the book. Now, they have designed it in a way that if you wanted to, you can do this. You know, alternate covers right there. Out of all the, you know, I have a lot of misgivings about the way that this is packaged. For one, the folio is flimsy. You know, it's made of like maybe just over 300 GSM board, you know, folded twice over to create those pockets. And it's not even the nice pockets that you could find on the White Album or Abbey Road, where there's little bit of allowances. You can see there's a little bit of scuffing in here. See that? Hold on, you can't see that probably, but yeah, all the discs are like that because of the how it was designed. And it doesn't have that provision for it's just shoe, you know, hollow. It's just hollowed, so it's not exactly pouch friendly. I'm thinking of making a separate keep box for this, or maybe a Japanese style, you know, like the Beatles in mono box just for these discs. I don't know, I might do that eventually. So this is what the folio looks like. Oh, this is the hype sticker that I've saved. So what you got here is the discs, one that you have to read sideways. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is kind of annoying actually. So what they did was with the sessions is they reversed the photos, which are closer to the unprocessed images right here, and then they reversed it so that the front cover is now the back cover right there. Everything else is the same. The color The color scheme is also reversed, so it's now black ink on white backgrounds. There's also um, the unreleased Get Back album that was supposed to be the original release, but you know, I, yeah, it's a pretty nice approximation of the Please Please Me album cover, actually. And this is an the one on the folio is an alternate shot. And when I said earlier that there's the one of the photos, one of the versions of this is not in the book, it's because it's not in there. Well, it's there technically, but it's not the full photo. So the back's also like a nice approximation of the Please Please Me cover right there, which you probably have seen in other videos, right? I mean, by this time a lot of people would have uploaded their now this is the EP, and this is not the first time that they did something like this, where instead of just punching a hole to make it more authentic, they just printed it there. They printed the label there and printed the other side of the label here. If you check out my other video on the white the various versions of the White Album on CD, the 30th anniversary edition has something very similar to this, where the label's printed instead of a hole punched in there, and then the disc label has the all 4 tracks listed, whereas here just 2 tracks, another 2 tracks. Ha! Thrax. Why do I keep saying thrax? Another point, one of my other point of contention here is that this is the pouch for the remixed album, which is great. It's very close to the the LP version. Where was it? There we go. Except that, look at that. It's a flimsy, thin paper stock. These sleeves are mine, by the way. The rice paper sleeves. That's very thin paper stock. It's not even, done properly. You could feel it when you. And then it's not even glossy like the Abbey Road or Sgt. Pepper sleeves. It's just these flimsy, matte, uncoated paper right here. And yeah, they restored it, but they have restored the the layout, at least with the newly restored image, so that I guess that's some consolation. But yeah, overall looks flimsy. And the way I would have done it is, and the way, because the thing is, I'm a bit annoyed with how this thing is laid out. What I would have done is, first, I would not have designated these are discs, but CD instead, CD 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I would have designated the Blu-ray as a separate disc, CDs and Blu-ray. How I would have laid it out is, on the first panel you would have had the remixed album and the Blu-ray version of the album. This is the album proper, right? And then for here, sessions and more sessions, right? So visually you have the sessions here, and then you have this is sort of the gravy part, the extras. You have the Get Back, which in some cases takes the place of the mono, or is it in reverse? The mono editions in future releases, probably. Revolver, that's the last disc of the bunch, right? And then the EP goes here, because this is the bonus of the bonus content. See, so your layout would be something like that, but they didn't. So I'm gonna fix this up later. Actually, I am considering. Oh, I did mention that earlier, did I? I mean, I could build just a plain box, probably, but just a box for these, just so these things don't have to be opened all the time. Right? Looks nice. I probably will come up with a box set for it which means, and of course, if I do, you'll be seeing it here. So this is the book, just the last step in our journey. So this, of course, you got the flyer that came with the same thing that came with the book, actually, the Get Back book, not the. Let me just take these, and then, okay, so book. It's, yeah, this is more or less the same as the booklet that I've shown earlier. You know, and of course more content. Although, to be honest, this is really one of the things that's been bugging me about the book design. Okay, pay attention to that page, and then that fold right there. Okay, now see that? And then now you might even want to take a look at that shape, because it's also the same one right here. They just flipped it around, and then you got the same fold on the paper. And oh wait, yeah. Oh, there it is. Yeah, they just sort of, you know, rotate the damn thing around, or just they move just the same same folds. So it's not, you know. Then there's those little folds. I mean, if you, I mean, look at that, that shape, the fold in a little bit of tear, and there we go back to the previous page, and voila, it's the same thing. And all throughout the book, you'd find the same thing, just getting moved around, and it kind of bugs me, because this is you're expecting a really high quality product, and they could have just, I don't know, made just found a bunch of paper for texture, and then scanned it according to the number of pages here, or maybe even actually made actual paper collages in there, and just, you know, taped everything, and then, or maybe not for these things, these are valuable pieces, but, you know, for everything else, you got, like, they had time to do this. They were delayed a year. They could have just done it, but they didn't, of course. Or, you know, the way I would have done it is just, I would have made it with the same design treatment as the Let It Be album, which is, you know, black, maybe with a white border around, and then the text in Futura, and, you know, they could have used the same. Oh, this is marketing material for the Beatles' White album, actually, you know. And there's also this. This is actually nice. This is the promo poster for the Get Back, Don't Let Me Down single, and this appeared in Let It Be Naked. Then this is what I'm talking about. The picture, this particular picture, this you get the whole entire picture in the deluxe edition, the 2-disc edition, and it's not in here. It's just this. So yeah, there are, you know, it's sort of pros and cons kind of deal. You got that nice poster there, which is not in the deluxe edition. But yeah, I'm not gonna take a look at the entire thing, but you'll probably get better views of it in other videos on the interwebs. But, well, that is it for this set, and thank you very much. If you're still watching right now, thank you very much. It's quite a long video, and I can't seem to. Oh, here we go. Here are the other editions. So yeah, I will see you sometime in the near future. Not probably. Yeah. As I've said earlier in the video, I am taking a break, but I'm not abandoning the channel. No way. You could still look up some more stuff that are not actually video, you know, for video, like hauls, comic book hauls and stuff. on my Instagram, which is also listed. And I promise I will get back to writing on my Substack, which I have been admittedly neglecting for quite a while. So this is taking longer than usual, but I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, be good.